Okay, and now
We can hear you.
just a second. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes, we are
Okay,
ready.
so we go on. First of all, I want to thank you for this opportunity. I've been waiting for this opportunity for a very long time, and I'm very glad to be able to make my presentation today in front of so many participants at this event. So I'll try to be as synthetic as possible, but it's a very interesting and a very complex topic we are speaking about today. So my presentation is has the title "Contribution to the Romanian Strategy on the Use of Shallow and Deep Geothermal Energy." So I cannot forget about shallow geothermal energy, although the implications with the oil and gas sector go mainly to the deep geothermal energy. Okay. Well, it seems that. Okay. Now we go on. This is a brief overview of my presentation. I'll speak about the usefulness of geothermal energy for local authorities, the energy needs for Romanian cities, and then I will speak about the renewable energy resources of Romania, geothermal and hydrothermal. I also touched the topic of technical solutions for the implementation of geothermal energy in buildings mainly, as I am teaching applied thermodynamics in a university specialized in civil engineering and building services. I will speak about the contribution of our association to the strategy and about our international visibility. Now, as you can see from this map here, you see the stars represent the municipalities in Romania which signed the Covenant of Mayors Agreement. The updated information shows that we have 178 signatories from Romania. And this shows the big commitment of local authorities with regard to the implementation of sustainable energy action plans at local level, thus trying to implement European policy with regard to energy and environment. How can the energy, the geothermal energy be used at the local level? You can see there is a large variety of possibilities for using the geothermal energy, starting from the production of electricity. Of course, if the temperature level of the available resource allows this. But it can also be used for office buildings, schools, kindergartens, hospitals, and family dwellings. So there is a large variety of possible applications in the building sector at local level. Of course, the possibility of covering the energy needs depend on these energy needs of the buildings. And here you have a map showing the climatic zones of Romania. We have 5 climatic zones. Romania is located in, let's say, classic temperate climate with 4 seasons. We experience a lot of changes during the last decades. However, the climatic zones of Romania are considered in the building codes, and all the calculations that we perform must take these climatic zones and climatic data in consideration. Here's a list with the Romanian cities which still have district heating systems. You can see that all the development regions still have some district heating systems, and I'm speaking about this because in Romania, during the last 3 decades, we experienced a terrible decrease in the number of district heating systems. due to numerous facts. Up to today, we still have 69 district heating systems operating in Romania. And I'm speaking about this because this is a possible technical solution for the implementation of geothermal energy, be it deep geothermal or also possible to use shallow geothermal for district heating and cooling systems. And this is proven to be one of the most efficient systems for providing energy to buildings. This slide shows very briefly the origin of shallow geothermal energy. As you can see, the main source for shallow geothermal energy comes from the sun, because when we speak about shallow geothermal energy, we are thinking about a layer of up to maximum 400 meters depth. So in this superficial layer, we have most of the energy coming from the sun through direct insulation, direct radiation, or from infiltrating waters into the ground. But there is also a thermal flux coming from the inner liquid core of the earth, the geothermal flux, which also has a contribution to this shallow geothermal source. Now I'm going to come to, let's say, to the some core elements of my presentation, and I'm going to present the resources that Romania benefits with regard to geothermal energy and also hydrothermal energy. Here you can see a map with the mineral water, springs and surface waters from Romania. Romania was blessed, I could say, with lots of such sources. It's one of the richest countries in Europe with this regard. And unfortunately, this is a resource we are not using properly. And as you can see, there is a very interesting superposition of these resources with cities, which might very well benefit not only from the spas that could be, let's say, modernized and updated, but also from the energy point of view. This is well, going further on, I'm going to present the most interesting regions from Romania, with which benefit from geothermal energy. This is in fact an example of how the underground water resource is being managed, and this is the map of Bucharest, which benefits a groundwater monitoring system. It was established first of all when the subway in Bucharest was built, and ever since it has been developed. Now this is going further with the presentation of deep geothermal energy sources. This is a map which has become quite classic, I would say, and this presents the resources with regard to deep geothermal, which Romania benefits. And these resources were mapped since the 60s and the 70s, when there was at national level a program for geological investigation for oil and gas, but sometimes oil and gas could not be found, and geothermal waters were found. And this is a result of that activity done 30 or 40 years ago. So you can see that the deep geothermal resources are located mainly on the western part of Romania, and this is the limit, the eastern limit of the so-called Pannonian Basin. which extends, of course, beyond the borders of Hungary into Romania, into Serbia and Slovenia, and so on. So you see the dots here on the map, which represent places with boreholes, deep geothermal boreholes, which are fully documented with regard to flow rates that they are able to provide, and temperatures and chemistry of the geothermal waters. Then you can see another reservoir is the one on the Olt Valley in the region of Kozia, Kalimoneshka, Ciurata. There is another very important reservoir located north of Bucharest, starting from the outskirts of Bucharest, going to Otopeni up to Snagov. And our colleague Ionus Tănase will speak more about this. And then you will see that here in the Brăila region, there is also some resource of deep geothermal waters. This is a map of something like an enlarged map of Bucharest and the northern region of Bucharest, showing the location of the deep wells, which are, as I said, very well documented, and some of them have been used, but some haven't. And there is a big hope to be able to use them again. These are the maps of the interesting zones from Romania I was speaking about, with, let's say, a better location of the deep geothermal wells in western Romania, in Olt Valley, Kozia, Kalimoneshka, Ciurata area, and in the Brăila Valley. Now I'm going to move on to present some of the technical solutions which are being used for the implementation of deep and shallow geothermal energy in buildings. The use of geothermal energy follows the so-called Lindell diagram because according to the available temperature of the resource, there are several energy transformations which are recommended. First of all, if we have high temperature geothermal resource, the electricity production is recommended. And then, of course, it is possible to further use the thermal potential of the geothermal energy for food processing, refrigeration plants, because this might be a paradox, but by using heat as driving energy, we can also produce refrigeration in absorption machines. And then we can use further on, as the temperature of the resource decreases, we can use this resource for district heating networks, for apartment building, greenhouses, and we end up in spas and fish farms. This is a very, let's say, interesting and striking slide, showing very briefly some technical possibilities of using geothermal energy in buildings. And this focuses mainly on the use of heat pumps. Heat pumps are thermal machines which are able to move heat from a low temperature heat source to a high temperature heat source. And the driving energy is electricity. And the biggest benefit of heat pumps is that by using only one unit of driving energy, which is most of the times electricity, we can take out from the environment 4 units of renewable energy. So we can provide 5 units of useful energy to the consumer. So from this point of view, these heat pumps are unbeatable from a thermodynamic point of view. This is a brief presentation of different technical solutions used for heat pumps in closed loop systems with vertical ground source heat exchangers, with horizontal loops, or with loops using the heat of lakes and rivers. Of course, the calculation of such system must take into account the energy needs of the building. We should have as much as possible balanced systems. If not, we should provide extra cooling possibilities if a building is in a cooling dominated region, or we should provide solar collectors in order to replenish the heat extracted from the ground in heating dominated regions. These are the okay. So these are the technical solutions, wastewater, technical solutions for NZEBs and thermal grids, and some real projects in Romania, some showrooms, auto showrooms, and the biggest one is the system from Magurele, which is the largest in Europe. These are some technical schemes with regard to the use of deep geothermal energy for district heating systems. And in Beiuș, the biggest advantage is that the price for such systems, the price for the energy provided to the people is very low. So we can reach up to 80 lei per gigacalorie in Beiuș. I will end up with this statement of Kadri Simpson, Commissioner of Energy of the European Commission. Geothermal energy deserves more attention than in the past. And I hope that we'll find the proper mechanism for collaboration and for financing such projects in Romania. Thank you very much for your attention.